Yankees, and you're listening to the flagship station for Yankees baseball, The Fan, WFAN, and WFAN FM, New York.
This iconic moment in Yankees history, sponsored by your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. On September 16, 2008, 17 years ago today, Derek Jeter, first inning single. It was hit number 1270 at Yankee Stadium, passing Lou Gehrig, most hits ever at the ballpark. And Jeter, he finished his career with 1727 at the stadium, more than anyone in Yankees and, of course, Major League history. This iconic moment in Yankees history, sponsored by your Tri-State Cadillac dealer. Our player of the game, Trent Grisham, presented by Collars & Co., makers of the dress collar polo. Visit collarsandco.com. How about these first three innings for Grisham, who entered 1 for 25, so he's looking to get out of a rut. He walked a couple of times last night, seeing the ball better. Grisham's first inning, single run scored. Second inning, 2-run home run, his 31st on the year. Third inning, sacrifice fly. One of 3 sacrifice flies across the first 3 innings for the Yankees tonight. They needed every single run. 10 runs across the first 4 innings. They hold on 10-9, a survival against the Twins to force a rubber game tomorrow. Our next Game Time brought to you by Nielsen Dodge. For the best selection of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram, visit nielsendodge.com and save today the Nielsen way. Our next game is tomorrow night, 7:40 first pitch, on the air at 7 o'clock with our pregame coverage. And until then, for our producer, engineer in the booth, Matt Shortis, to your producer, Paulie Rosenberg, and for Susan Waldman and Dave Sims, Emmanuel Barbari saying so long. Once again, the final score, Yankees 10 and the Twins 9. Phew. On WFAN Yankees Radio. Have a good one.
This has been the Yankees postgame show, powered by Verizon. For a limited time, get their best price ever. Drop into your local Verizon store today to learn more. Also brought to you by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the New York Yankees. ServPro, cleanup, restoration, construction, like it never even happened. Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center. Peerless Boilers. Visit peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. London menswear brand Charles Tirrett. They make it easy for men to dress well. Borgata Casino. Borgata Hotel, Casino and Spa in Atlantic City. Veg ER for Pets. Official emergency veterinarian group of Yankees Radio. And by General Plumbing Supply. Trust the real experts. This is WFAN Yankees Radio. Odyssey Sports broadcast has been brought to you by Geico. Switch and save. Get more with Geico.
If you're injured in an accident, the Rothenberg Law Firm is on your side. A legendary team that has won billions over 5 decades. The Rothenberg Law Firm. 1-800-624-8888 or injurylawyer.com.
At Paramus Chevrolet, we understand that a car is more than 4 wheels. It's an extension of who you are. Hey, it's Mike Tandarella, General Manager of Paramus Chevrolet. Because everyone has unique taste, we stock a large variety of certified pre-owned automobiles. So you're sure to find something you absolutely love. And it gets better. Enjoy our exclusive Paramus Chevrolet VIP Plus program. A lifetime of complimentary oil changes, courtesy shuttles, and loaner car availability. Visit us in person or online at ParamusChevrolet.com.
Town Fair Tires, New England's largest volume discount tire dealer with over 100 locations. So we sell Michelin tires for the guaranteed lowest price. Like Michelin tires with all-season capabilities and maximum performance. Plus, Town Fair will give you more free services for life on your Michelin tires for longer tread life and reliable traction in both wet and dry conditions. For the guaranteed lowest price on Michelin tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Now at Verizon, lock in our low price, plus free roaming included in Puerto Rico. Discover the best mofongo, post that perfect sunset on La Isla, and save big with Verizon while you do it. Switch and get 4 lines for just $30 per line. See? Just $30 per month with unlimited welcome with autopay plus taxes and fees. Plus calls, texts, and data in Puerto Rico included, so you can use your phone sin problema. Stop by your New York Verizon store today. For unlimited welcome in times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
During the Jeep Drive-In Fall event, well-qualified current FCA lessees get an ultra-low mileage lease on the 2025 Grand Cherokee Laredo X 4x4 for $289 a month for 24 months with $4,249 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Current vehicle must be registered to consumer at least 30 days prior lease to qualify. Extra charge for miles over 15,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 9:30. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Total Orthopedics is Long Island's premier orthopedic practice. Whether it's a sports-related injury or something far more complex, Total Ortho has you covered with locations throughout Long Island, Queens, and now West Orange, New Jersey. Don't struggle with pain or injuries and get fast, expert care from the leading orthopedic doctors, including the #1 spine doctor on Long Island. Visit TotalOrthoSportsMed.com and schedule an appointment today. Total Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, the experts at getting you back to being you.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps. It's KM to AM on WFAN.
Sports Radio 101.9 FM. The Fan.
Yeah. Quickly here, because it's already about to be midnight. Keith McPherson on the Fan, a quick KM to AM, little 2 hours, Talk about the Mets and the Yankees. We don't got to talk about Jameis Winston being traded to the Bengals. We don't got to talk about who's going to start for the Jets at quarterback. We'll get there. Right now, we're going to talk about back-to-back wins. I'm bringing Piggy back. Put it in the books. The Mets are back in the New York groove. Sean Manaea pitches the second half of the game. Clay Holmes starts the game. I was looking at these guys. I was like, oh, it was a little fusion. Introducing Clay Sean. I think that's the name I'm going to go with for their tandem, Clay Sean. That sounds like one of my cousin's names in Jacksonville. Oh, yeah, that's my cousin, Clay Sean. Keith McPherson on the Fan. This is quick, man. There's not much I can do here with this 4-minute open, but talk about the Met game. And then the Met fans don't want to talk to me anyway, so we get it out of the way. But yeah, back-to-back wins, and I felt like the vibes were right because, oh my God, Candelita was back. He got his nice little video tribute, and they paid homage to the OMG Mets. I saw someone with a sign that said, OMG Mets, we still believe. And, just having that song played in the building, those clips of last year, I think it just it set the right tone. And then obviously Francisco Lindor, his wife, Katia Lindor, playing the national anthem on her violin and him having all three of his kids there. You see how big his son has gotten. It's just that family vibe they talk about at Citi Field. You knew Lindor was going to do something. And, when Lindor homers, the Mets usually win. But it wasn't the homer right away. It was just singling them to death. Single, station to station, move this thing along. I think the game opened up with 4 straight singles and then a Jeff McNeil 2-run double. And then the homers came. Brett Beatty with a homer, and then it's 5-zip. And I'm looking at Michael King of New York like, hey, what's going on, Mike? Former Yankee. If you recall, Mike was traded in the Juan Soto deal from the Yankees to the Padres. He's been hurt this year, but I also had the thought, is this a guy that maybe the Mets go after? I was listening to David Stearns today, and they asked David Stearns about, maybe adding more veteran pitching, maybe going out there and buying arms, and he'd kind of, just shoot it away and talked about, no, we need to develop pitching. It's reinforced even more. We need to develop our own pitching. And, yeah, that's what you're going to have. You're going to have Jonah Tong and Nolan McLean and Brandon Sproat. And now this piggyback situation with Clay Holmes and Sean Manaea, and it worked tonight. You look forward to seeing it work again on Sunday as the Mets win 8-3. All the Padres are able to do is score via the solo shot, and that's not enough when you're in a 5-0 hole. Lindor 2 for 3, Alonso 2 for 3. He homered. Nimmo 2 for 4. Beatty homered 1 for 3, and yeah, Holmes and Manaea. Now that who would have thought that's what they would have to do? Pair up this former reliever, turn starter, and former almost ace of your staff last year, to go 9 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 6 Ks, and a win that saves the bullpen where they don't have to pitch back-to-back days, and you're ready to unload them against the Padres so that you can take this series because it's time to win series. 888-808-1019. We got to break it down. Say good morning on the other side, BRB.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Let's go!
Stepping into the Kia K4 or K5 isn't just getting behind the wheel of any average sedan. It's stepping into what's next. With a K4, it's stepping into a world that's exciting. With a K5, it's one that's bold. The Kia K4 and K5, the next movement for sedans. See your local Kia dealer or visit kia.com to learn more.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Always drive safely.
Ugh, my phone takes such bad pics.
Girl, you gotta update that phone.
I can't afford a new one.
My hot tip, go to Metro. The iPhone 13 is on them.
Wait, Metro's got it covered?
Yeah, and iPhone 13 has a dual camera system. So bye-bye bad pics.
Ooh, my profile pics are about to be on point.
Get iPhone 13 on us when you join. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
With virtual MasterCard after 3rd month, bring your number and ID to a $50 plan with AutoPay. $55 first month.
FanDuel is getting you ready for kickoff with an offer you won't want to miss. New customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet $5, and if it wins, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use all across the app. You can build parlays, bet player props, ride the live lines. Whatever your style, FanDuel has you covered. This NFL season has finally arrived. The only question is, are you ready to play? Visit FanDuel.com/Evan. Download the FanDuel app today and get started. FanDuel.com/Evan. We love the app around here. It's safe and secure, and when you win, you get paid instantly. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of WFAN. 21 and over, physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable. Bonus bets expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. For help with a gambling problem, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Town Fair Tire, Connecticut's largest discount tire dealer. Because we give you the guaranteed lowest price and we honor every manufacturer's rebate. We even honor all our competitors' rebates. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Now would be a great time to clean out your garage and donate that old car to Cars for Kids. See how easy it is. Call today, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS or online at carsforkids.com.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
NFL fans, the Lowe's Earn Your Sunday Tour is rolling into Lowe's of Butler, New Jersey this Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. Interactive games and prizes. Plus meet WFAN's own Keith McPherson from 3 to 5 p.m. That's this Saturday at Lowe's of Butler, New Jersey.
Fun is in the driver's seat at Nielsen Dodge. Get a great deal on the new Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, or Ram you really want with 0 down payment available, plus the credit help you need. Shop online at nielsendodge.com. Drive into fall event.
I'm Dr. Glenn Gedgerman of John Thor Cancer Center. If you have prostate cancer, call my cell, day or night, 201-5 201-450-4263. That's 201-450-4263. We use TomoTherapy's unique guided radiotherapy to precisely focus on the prostate gland. Our treatments can be safely completed with fewer side effects and better sexual function. Call my cell at 201-450-4263. John Thor Cancer Center, a division of Hackensack Meridian Health.
Talk Yankees and Mets all season long. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1, New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good morning at 12 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. From a laugher to a nail-biter, as the Yankees nearly coughed up a 10-1 advantage, but able to hold off the Twins 10-9.
Credit to them putting a great comeback on and definitely made it dicey there. But, yeah, a little bit of a sigh, a little exhale after that one, after running out to such a big lead after the really good offense the first few innings. So, we'll take it.
Every starter had at least one hit. Ben Rice, 3 of them. Trent Grisham, a 3-run shot, while Anthony Volpe returned to the lineup, 2 for 4, an RBI, a couple of runs scored. Cam Schlittler staked to a 9-run advantage after 4, but just lasted 4 2/3, giving up 4 runs, walked 5. Blue Jays won again, so the Bombers remain 5 back, but the Red Sox lost, so the Yankees now 2 up for the top wild card. Mets set the tone early, got to Michael King for 5 runs in the first. They put up 8 runs on 10 hits over 3 innings on King as they roll the Padres 8-3.
Nothing in particular other than really good at-bats, executing a good game plan, and especially against King there from the first inning.
Brett Beatty, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso all went deep, while Clay Holmes allowed 2 runs over 4, followed by 5 innings of 1-run baseball from Sean Manaea. Now, the Reds lost. That pushes them 3 back. Diamondbacks currently 2 back, Giants 2.5, as those 2 are even at 5, and they're in the 9th. 66 degrees, cloudy skies, Central Park. That's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
Get the scuttlebutt on your favorite team, the Fan, on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
Good morning, morning. Let's get right into it, man. This is quick. 2 hours. Met fans call me up. Yankee fans call me up. 888-808-1019. Now, it's getting late early? No, it's late. This is it. It dawned on me today looking at the postseason picture and the wild card round, which both the Mets and the Yankees are most likely going to be in. Yes, I'm feeling like the Mets are going to make it. I don't want the Mets to not make it. I've been vocal about that. I've been saying, though, if they do fall out of this, I'm going to unload Anyway, I want to see the Mets win it. I want to see the Mets win enough games here to not have this epic collapse and get in. And then anything can happen once you're in. But it dawned on me that Tuesday, September 30th, the postseason starts. And we always just say October. It starts September 30th. And that is now 2 weeks from yesterday. Good morning. It is now Wednesday. And so, we're running out of time. How much happens in 2 weeks? 2 weeks is a pay period. 2 weeks, imagine they tell you 2 weeks you got to lose 20 pounds. You can't do it. It's not a lot of time to change things. You pretty much are who you are and what you are. In 2 weeks, it's, what I'm saying is the pitching concerns that we have with the Mets and the Yankees, how much are they going to change? I like the piggyback idea with Clay Holmes and Manaea. It worked tonight. You need it to work again Sunday and then maybe again. But, now you need these young kids to really lock down for their last starts and hope that they don't turn back into pumpkins. And then on the Yankee side, and we'll get into the Yankee conversation in a minute, this Yankee bullpen is suspect. But good on the Mets tonight. Like I said, the right vibes in the building. The only other thing that I think I had to add was it's going good when Cedric Mullins gets a hold of one. Imagine he gets hot right now. Imagine he contributes right now, can do anything for you. It sucks to see Francisco Alvarez. All he does is get beat up, hit by pitches, hurt. But he's happy. He's running out there with the ice bag on his arm because it feels good to win. And on Roberto Clemente Day, in observance of Roberto Clemente Day and some guys wearing the 21 and, the Mets going out there to get a win. I just felt like there were the right vibes and energy coming off a day off, as well as just I think I talked last night about market correction and balance and how baseball just has a way of, kind of flipping and it's unpredictable. If you lose 8 games in a row, I don't think you're going to lose another 8 games in a row. I think they're set up to win here. I really do. I think they're set up to win here against a Padres team that, like, they've had some success against. I know the Padres swept them, I think, in San Diego. But, I mean, they've had success against Michael King. And I think you carry this momentum into today and tomorrow. And like I said, with the bullpen rested, you got to feel good about your chances to take a series. It's time to win series. It's time to correct the mistakes. It's time to right the wrong. So you've got David Peterson on the mound. You should feel good about him versus Nick Pivetta. And, of course, you expect the lineup of the Padres to punch back. You expect this lineup of the Padres not to go quietly tomorrow. But if you want to win series, it behooves you to take that first game of the series. Now, the Yankees didn't take the first game of the series. The Yankees were sleep deprived. They were wide awake yesterday, I guess, last night, I guess, for game 2. Fully rested. They came out and they scored right away. You know, they put up 2 in the first inning. They put up 4 in the second inning, 3 in the third inning, 1 in the fourth, where you're like, hey, look at this. 10-1, New York Yankees. This is what it's supposed to look like. Hey, and not all just by the home run, right? The Yankees end up having 16 hits. 6 Yankees had more than 1 hit. They scored 10 runs. Some sac flies, some singles, some doubles, and obviously some home runs. Now, you know, the main storyline heading into this game tonight is Anthony Volpe's return. And that wasn't Anthony Volpe tonight. That was cortisone tone in his zone, at least to start until the cortisone wore off. Yeah, Volpe with a double, Volpe with a single. And I think it's just, you know, we have enough information about Anthony Volpe that after he does get a cortisone shot, after he does have some rest, after he does have some time to think about it, he plays better. You know, he even worked a walk today. I was pumped to see him work a walk. I'm like, what? Taking pitches? Anthony Volpe? That's not Volpe. That's cortisone tone. That's what I'm calling him. Cortisone tone with the shot in his arm. 888-808-1019. You know, I don't want to harp on it. I don't want to, like, talk about the bullpen and the negative stuff because it is what it is. It's one game. But, like, what I'll say is, you know, Cam Schlittler was a big talking point tonight. Cam Schlittler is a guy that is a whole rookie. Not even a whole rookie. He's not even half a rookie. What's he got, 12 starts? Cam Schlittler is a guy, though, that I think because of his success and his stuff in the recent weeks, we've started to dream about him taking the ball in October. I'm out on that. I'm not in that camp anymore for a couple reasons. Not just what I've seen tonight, as I talk about tonight being so close to the postseason. It is what it is now. You know, he had one point where he retired 11 batters in a row. Maybe sitting there as the Yankees just kept getting hits and walks and sac flies and homers and doubles or whatever, maybe that threw him off his rhythm a little bit. But I'm just starting to realize, like, this guy is a rookie. We do have other options. Specifically Luis Heel, who pitched in the postseason last year and just had back-to-back good starts against postseason teams. Also, it's looking like we could face the Boston Red Sox, and Meredith Marakovits did a piece where they showed Cam Schlittler going in to sign the Green Monster, and they told everybody again how he grew up a Red Sox fan in Massachusetts, not that far from Fenway. I just feel like that's too much to put on a kid, especially if somehow this flips, which it could, where we end up playing in Fenway. I wouldn't want to give him the ball in Fenway. I just feel like it'd be a lot of emotion. Probably everybody that he's ever known in his life try and be at that game. I just keep thinking back to Garrett Cole, and he does have some similarities to Garrett Cole. Remember 2021, that one game elimination wild card that we lost at Fenway? The Yankees are now 2 games up over the Red Sox. The Red Sox found a way to lose tonight. They lost 2-1 to the Sacramento A's. Great. And they had a young guy on the mound for them. I'll talk about that later. But the Yankees had to win this game tonight, going up 10-1. But, here's the negative part, right? Cam Schlittler, who I said retired 11 in a row at one point, he gets through that 4th inning, and then he comes out and he loses his command. He gets to a point where it's just like Boone had to take him out. You couldn't rock with him any longer. And, I mean, it is what it is, but you want better from the guy. His pitch count was getting up there. I think he had a 30-pitch inning. He had 5 walks. And once he loses his stuff, like, the night is over because you have to take him out. So, in that inning, Royce Lewis was the last batter he faced, and then Fernando Cruz comes in. Now, I didn't hear it on the postgame. I was back here doing some other stuff, and I was also on my way in. I didn't hear them ask Aaron Boone. I'll go look for it, specifically why Fernando Cruz only went 4 pitches. I made a joke on Twitter. Fernando Cruz for 3 strikes. Ryan Yarbrough for 3 runs. But this is where I'm going with the bullpen. And I shout out to Big Mac. I saw Big Mac kind of, put a tweet out saying, like, the bullpen wasn't completely trashed tonight. Like, and those weren't Big Mac's words. But, everybody's quick to say, this bullpen's a mess. This bullpen sucks. We can't trust this bullpen. Well, like, Ryan Yarbrough has just gotten back. And Ryan Yarbrough is a guy that was literally given away by the Toronto Blue Jays this year. And did he have some good spots for us? Absolutely. He had some good starts. He had some good moments out of the pen. He had some rough moments. But now that he's back, I'm not exactly sure about his stuff or where, he fits or his role. So, like, as we talk about this circle of trust and we talk about, who we're going to be using in September or whatever, like, he might not be one of those guys. He's given it up every time he's come out. Since September 5th, he's given up at least a run in every time he's stepped out there on the mound. 888-808-1019. So I don't know. You know how they have their scripts and their lanes and their days to throw. I guess they wanted to go to Yarbrough because you're not going to go to Luke Weaver, and you're probably now that Cam Schlittler came out of the game in 4 2/3, and you just used Fernando Cruz in that spot to get that out, you're going to go to Ryan Yarbrough to try and give you some length. But that didn't happen because he only got 1 out. He ends up giving up 4 hits, 4 runs, and 1 homer. And it's like, well, damn, here we go again. Now we're in a game, and we're all questioning, okay, you can't lose this game. This bullpen sucks. These guys aren't for real. This is supposed to be the Minnesota Twins. They lay down, yada, yada, yada. What's going on with the Yankees? Now they got to add runs on. But whatever. All is well that ends well. A win is a win. They go to Mark Leiter Jr. Mark Leiter Jr., who we joked about last week, is Mark Leiter Fluid, bringing a lighter to the game. He did what he had to do. Mark Leiter Jr. goes an inning and 2/3 and gives up 1 hit, no runs, doesn't walk anybody, and gets out clean. I've seen on the S Network, they said that's his longest outing since the ALCS Game 4 appearance that he made for us. So good for Mark Leiter Jr. rounding out. See, this is what I wanted. I wanted this soft spot of the schedule to be a place where guys could get their work out of the bullpen to round into shape, to get their confidence right. But it's baseball. Those guys over there, even if you don't know all of these Minnesota Twins, those guys over there get paid too. Those guys are professional hitters too. Those guys want to get some too. And it doesn't matter if it's Mickey Gasper, Ryan Fitzgerald, you know what I'm saying? Austin Martin, like these guys, Trevor, like the Minnesota Twins aren't playing for anything. So there's just like a level of like freeness where they're swinging free. 888-808-1019. When you go from Leiter Jr. to now Devin Williams in a tight game, all of us, I think, still have it built in that Devin Williams sucks. But that's not the case right now. Devin Williams is actually the guy that you trust the most, and he was dominant tonight. And he didn't look like he was shaky. Like, you know how you could see sometimes like he just doesn't have it and he's wearing his emotions on his sleeve. He doesn't look confident and he's worried. Devin Williams locked in. And it was like Devin Williams knew, this is the Minnesota Twins. This is not high leverage at all. Let me go in and do what I got to do to stabilize this thing, and then I'm going to go sit down. And it's just kind of crazy that, like, we've gotten to the point on this roller coaster, up and down and up and down. You can't pitch Devin Williams. Don't throw Devin Williams. So now, like, we need Devin Williams here. Devin Williams is the setup guy now before Bednar comes into the game. Devin Williams goes out there and has a better inning than your closer had. But I still don't trust him. I just seen him fold too many times. I just know, you want to talk about a setup guy? This is a setup for the postseason. The setup for the postseason is pitching Devin Williams in a spot like that late in the game, and he doesn't have it. But we don't have any other choice, folks. This is just the roster. This is how they've set it up. Cashman tried to go get Camilo Duvall, tried to go get Jake Bird, tried to get other options. We got to get Luke Weaver right. This is just the Yankees bullpen. It is what it is. Their lanes are their lanes, and it is what it is. You gotta just ride with it. But yeah, Devin Williams goes out there, 4-pitch strikeout. His velocity was up. Second batter, 2-pitch ground out, and then Byron Buxton. He had a 96-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball in the zone to Byron Buxton. I'm like, oh, he's cooking, bro. Like, Devin Williams is feeling it. This is an all-star he's facing. And last but not least, David Bednar has to scare you a little bit, gives up that solo shot, and it's like, really, bro? It's 10-9. Another solo shot ties it, but they get out of it. Other little things from this game, Jose Caballero not getting the start, but, Jose Caballero coming off the bench when Stanton singles and Caballero comes in to pinch run, and there is no situation where you're putting Caballero in as a pinch runner that he's not going. He steals his 47th base to lead Major League Baseball. And he's a weapon like that, where you start to look at Anthony Volpe, where it's like, yo, Volpe, get back to fielding your position cleanly. No errors. Fielding the position and having better at-bats like you had your first couple of bats. Him and Wells together, chicken parm partners. Together, they were cooking up in the beginning of the game. Some weaker at-bats later in the game. But, like I said, multiple guys with double hits tonight, multi-hits tonight. In the bottom of the order, Wells, Volpe, even McMahon got a hit tonight. Jazz Chisholm had 2 hits. Stanton had 2 hits. Good to see Stanton come out of it after the golden sombrero yesterday. Ben Thrice with 3 hits. Judge with a knock and 2 walks. And Trent Grisham with his 31st homer. Trent Grisham with a double to start the game off. Trent Grisham with 3 ribbies to lead everybody tonight. Trent Grisham having the best season of his career. The Yankees get the win, and a win is a win is a win is a win. It's a whack ride that they take you on. It should have been a 10-1 win if really we wanted the way that we had it or saw it, but they make you sweat a little bit. 10-9. You're not going to worry about that in 2 weeks when the wild card game starts. Now, speaking of the wild card, I just saw Talking Yanks put out, as things currently stand, the Yankees would host the Astros in a 3-game wild card series to begin the postseason. Now, I'm fine with that. I don't mind that at all. I was just telling E-Man, I hate the Red Sox and the Astros just alike. We owe both of them. Whomever, send them. But that game, or those 3 games, have to be played in the Bronx. Those 3 games have to be played in our ballpark. I just think it's a better setting. Home field advantage. They're going to be sold out. They're going to be comfortable. We're worried about travel and rest. They'll be able to sleep in their own beds, get to the ballpark in their regular routines. When you look at Yordan Alvarez's injury, and that was terrible how he cranked his ankle sliding on home plate. Not sliding on home plate, but like stepping on home plate. You can't tell me he's going to be ready to go for the wild card round in 2 weeks. He's not. He's going to be hobbled. He's not going to have all of his strength in the batter's box. He's not going to be able to play the field. So that's a huge blow for the Astros. And, the Astros have the scorching hot Seattle Mariners coming up. The Mariners have won 10 in a row. The Mariners, with Cal Raleigh, who hit 2 home runs tonight, he passes Mickey Mantle now with 56 home runs as a switch hitter. And I'm telling you, they're going to kick that narrative. I'm telling you, they're going to do as much as they can to push Cal Raleigh as MVP. I made a joke tonight as well about Judge stealing third there and getting caught stealing. I don't know why he was going there. I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know what he saw, what he felt. I don't know. Like, I made a joke that, Cal Raleigh's got 11 stolen bases and Judge, or he's got 11 stolen bases. Cal Raleigh's got 14 and Judge is trying to catch him here down the stretch. So that's another stat that he doesn't have over him. But no, Judge can't do that. And Judge was visibly frustrated. He knew, that's not a smart baseball play right there, running into that out. But anyway, back to the Astros. If the Astros are who we end up dancing with, great. I was at the 2015 wild card, one game set, Dallas Keuchel versus Masahiro Tanaka when they knocked us out then, 2017 when they knocked us out then, 2019 when they knocked us out then, 2022 when they knocked us out. How nice would it be, the first ever 3-game set that the Yankees host? If it's 3 games against the Houston Astros, I guess we're going to see Framber Valdez, Hunter Brown, Christian Javier, and I would throw Max Fried, Carlos Rodon, and Luis Gil, and hope that the Yankees are the Bronx Bombers and the Yankees put the ball into play and the bullpen is sorted and all of those guys can go deep enough into the game where you don't have to make that many bullpen decisions and the Yankees are able to advance. And then they would advance and face the Toronto Blue Jays, and how awesome would that be? I've never been to Toronto. I might try and go up to Toronto to the Rogers Center for that. How awesome would that be to go avenge this season, right? Because the Yankees should have won this division this year, but Toronto owned them, and they did a lot of different things in between that lost games, and they ran out of time here, and they're not winning the division. But how awesome would it be to go up to Canada and knock the Blue Jays out? I can see it, man. And then from there, you're in the ALCS with whomever. Detroit. I thought Tarek Skubal might have a little bit of an issue, but news came out today that Tarek Skubal is fine. Tarek Skubal, who he exited the game with a right side injury. He says, it's on to the next one. He pitched his usual between starts bullpen without any issues, and it was his left side. So Tarek Skubal is fine. Maybe we got to dance with the Detroit Tigers again like we used to years ago. So I don't know, man. With the Yankees, I'm not 100% confident because this lineup can go cold like they went 2 nights ago, but I'm not using the excuse for sleep, but it is an excuse. It is a reason, at least. It might not be a valid excuse, but it's definitely a reason. Hey, these guys got in at 4 or 5 in the morning, whatever. They didn't sleep right. They were lethargic because they came out swinging and hitting tonight. Let's see what they do against Taj Bradley today. Taj Bradley, who I saw, they've hit him, but I saw him dominate with the Tampa Bay Rays against the Yankees. Here comes a rubber match that the Yankees have to win. Another audition for Luis Gil, who I'm starting to lean towards. Okay, give Luis Gil the ball. He was Rookie of the Year last year. He's not a rookie this year. Also, Cam Schlittler is getting to a point, innings pitch-wise, where this is a lot. Luis Gil missed most of the year. So, in theory, he should be more fresh. And I'd like to see Cam Schlittler go into the bullpen. Well, maybe there's a scenario where you go Schlittler, Devin Williams, Bednar. You know what I'm saying? If they can't get Luke Weaver right, maybe you can put Cam Schlittler in that type of role. I don't know. We're getting close to it, man. It's crazy to think that it's 2 weeks away. In 2 weeks, we will be watching less now. In less than 2 weeks, we will be watching postseason baseball. In 2 weeks, I will be on the fan after the first postseason games talking about what happened. And maybe it's the Mets and the Yankees that we're talking about, and hopefully wins. On the other side of the bracket right now, the Mets would be facing the Dodgers. And I don't think the Met fan is scared of the Dodgers. As I was looking at the scores, let me refresh the scores. The Dodgers were up. And I think the Phillies came back. Yeah, they did. Bottom of the 8th here. And you guys saw the videos. The Phillies were partying last night. They clinched the division. They were drinking beers heavy. They were going in. So the Dodgers were up 4-0. The Phillies just put up 6 in the 6th inning. Dodgers just scored as I clicked on the box score. It's 6-5. Ohtani pitched tonight. Not sure what he did. He went 5 innings. It wasn't on him. He went 5 innings, no hits, no runs, 5 Ks. He dominated. The Dodgers bullpen started giving it up. But, yeah, we'll keep eyes on that. Not that it matters so much, but talking about the postseason and talking about, letting the chips fall where they may. On the other side, it'd be the Padres versus the Cubs. Winner of that would go on to face the Brewers. And the winner of Mets-Dodgers will go on to face the Phillies. I just don't see too much movement. I don't see, too much of a jump happening in 2 weeks. I think we are where we are, where, the teams that win are going to continue to win and hold their place. I know it's a little different for the Mets as we look at the standings and we look at the Mets winning back-to-back games. Had to. Like I said, you can't lose a whole nother week. You lost 8 in a row. You got to, this week in your building, right the ship some. So, the Mets are a game and a half up on the Arizona Diamondbacks, 3 up on the Cincinnati Reds, and 3 up on the San Francisco Giants, who they own the tiebreaker over. The Reds lost to the Cardinals tonight. They're not for real at all. So, again, when I talk about the Mets making it, it's also good for baseball to have 2 New York teams, big market teams, big money teams in the postseason, and have Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor and Pete Alonso in the postseason as well. I mean, it'd be cool to have Ellie De La Cruz, I guess. But at the same time, no, it wouldn't. I just don't think that the Reds have it. I think that the Mets will have enough to hold them off, and it'd just be a better tournament. It'd be a better tournament with those teams. 888-808-1019. Let me tap into the chat as we get these calls up here. Shout out to the YouTube faithful. The Night Watch is on. Shout out to Monkey D. Louie in the chat, who says, I'm a Mets fan, and I want to talk to Keith. It's not all Mets fans. I know sometimes I got to say, some Mets fans don't want to talk to me. Some Mets fans are like, you're not our guy, friend. And I know that. Shout out to Chris and Nalina, who's always in the chat, whether it's BT and Sal or the Overnight with myself and Big Mac. Pamela Williams, always showing love. Monkey D. Louie, also in there. Appreciate you guys. We'll start to pull some of the conversation from the chat as well. There was a conversation going on in the chat about the Mets relying on these kids. Well, now, you have a little bit of a wrinkle. You could go Clay Shawn. So it could be David Peterson, Clay Shawn, Nolan McLean. Let's see what Brandon Sproat has next. Let's see what Jonah Tong has, kind of picking himself back up in this situation. All right, one call before we go to break, and then after we break, we'll do the big shot, and I'll try and find a Tell Me Something Cool, and I'll get out of the way. Carlos is in Clifton, New Jersey on the Fan again. What's up, Los?
Hey, what's up, Keith? Hey, tonight's game, I don't know, you talk about Ajita. I'm like, oh, come on, these guys, we're not going to lose this game, right?
Never easy, New York Yanks. We could have, and then we would have lost the series, and my tone would have been completely different.
Now, hearing about all the talk of what we're going to do if we get into that rotation, I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing the young kid he come out of the bullpen just in case one of the guys starting doesn't have it. I feel better with Lewis Hill. Hill's starting.
Me too.
He
pitched in the postseason last year.
Right. Yep. And then one more thing, and I'll let you go because I know you're going to have a lot of calls soon. I don't need Judge to get hurt. What are you doing? Judge? Don't steal third. What are you doing? We're up 2 runs. I know you're the captain. You felt the pressure. You didn't want to lose this game. But I don't need that guy getting hurt trying to do stuff he's not supposed to be doing right now.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go, Keith. Have a good one.
Thanks for the call. I didn't need it either. That's why I joked that he's trying to get his steals up to take that category away from Cal Raleigh. But I think Bellinger was up. You just didn't need it. And he was mad about it. He was visibly frustrated about it. Whatever. We'll excuse that, Judge. Player of the week. 888-808-1019. We got to do the player of the night. We'll do a big shot for the Mets. We'll do a big shot for the Yankees. We'll take your calls on the Mets and the Yankees. We're all clear, so dial 888-808-1019 right now. Keith McPherson on the Fan for the next 90 minutes less. I'll be right back.
The Yankees and Twins wrap up their final meeting this season. 7:40 tonight. Driven by Jeep.
1 pitch, swing on a high fly ball. Deep center field, and that ball on cue is out of the ballpark.
Susan Waldman and Dave Sims call all the play-by-play. The home of Yankees baseball is The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always live on the free Odyssey app.
Come out to Yankee Stadium to see the New York Yankees in action on Tuesday, September 23rd, when the Yankees host the Chicago White Sox. Don't miss a long-time Yankee Stadium tradition, Yankees Cap Night. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees cap, courtesy of Cannon. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. That's the Yankees and White Sox on Yankees Cap Night, Tuesday, September 23rd. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Town Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest name brand discount tire dealer. We give you the guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand tires and honor all manufacturers' rebates. We even honor our competitors' rebates. With over 100 stores from Connecticut through New England and an inventory of over 600,000 tires, you'll always get the right tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Everyone knows when Sunday comes around for kickoff and tailgates, you gotta come ready. And who's the MVP of my game day spread? Mike's Amazing Mustard. This stuff just isn't a condiment, it's the first round pick. Put it on your hot dog, your sausage, or your favorite hero, and it's an instant touchdown. It's bold, it's got that perfect bit of spice, and it always delivers in the clutch. So this season, when it's 4th and goal at the grill, don't pass the ketchup, pass the mustard. Mike's Amazing Mustard. Find it this season at ShopRite. With over 90 years of combined legal experience representing the law enforcement community, Decolator Cohen & DePrisco, LLP, continues to strive to educate police officers of their civil rights to sue in line-of-duty accident cases. The 2025 Police Officers' Right to Sue newsletter can be viewed on policeofficersrighttosue.com and provides successful results in varying line-of-duty accident cases. These results include damages recovered from RMP accidents involving the City of New York and civilian motorists, station house defects, ricochet injuries from the range, private premises slip and falls, sidewalk slip and falls, construction defects, snow and ice cases, and injuries emanating from defective RMPs. In any LOD accident, it is important for the officer to take photographs of any defects, injuries, or damage. It is also essential to draft the line-of-duty report and detail the cause of the accident in the paperwork. Remember, there's a 90-day time limitation to file a claim against a municipality. If any law enforcement member has a question regarding a potential lawsuit, contact Decolator Cohen & DePrisco, LLP at policeofficersrighttosue.com or call 1-800-901-1529. Tune in to Boomer and Gio for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Hardy, Jim Bob World Tour coming to Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, September 24th. From our friends at Live Nation, to purchase tickets, visit livenation.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey guys, if you're ready to pop the big question, discover why 5 generations have purchased their diamonds from H.L. Gross Jewelers of Garden City. Since 1910, the Gross family has been the place Long Island gets engaged, and where you'll find all the latest styles and rings and a huge selection of GIA certified diamonds. Save yourself all the hassle and come to H.L. Gross, where you'll get the guaranteed best price, as well as the best education and guidance in picking out the perfect ring. H.L. Gross Jewelers, Long Island's premier bridal ring store at 840 Franklin Avenue in Garden City or at hlgross.com.
Imagine a gentleman's club with over 200 gorgeous exotic dancers every week.
Hey, big boy.
From the people who make fantasies come true, Gallagher's 2000 in Long Island City is the place to be. Gallagher's 2000, a gentleman's club for today, gentlemen. Gallagher's 2000 features 2 floors, 3 stages, discounted drinks, VIP, champagne rooms, and dinner specials every night. Gallagher's 2000 offers complimentary lunch Thursdays and Fridays with any drink purchase.
Come on down, big boy.
Gallagher's 2000 is New York's largest upscale gentleman's club, and Gallagher's 2000's bachelor parties will blow you away. For their bachelor party specials, call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is located at 4319 37th Street in Long Island City, Queens, just a half a block north of Queens Boulevard. Call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is unlike any club in New York. Come tonight for the time of your life. Gallagher's 2000.
Let your imagination run wild.
Connecticut's best value is at Town Fair Tire. They honor all manufacturer and valid competitor rebates, offer the most free services for life, plus give you the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Town Fair Tire.
Get connected with WFAN to talk about your favorite teams. The Fan on the Odyssey, iHeart, and TuneIn apps.
The Big Shot of the Night is brought to you by WFAN and me, Keith McPherson. Bright lights in this big city. You know we got a bunch of big shots. We'll start off with the Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. Back-to-back games. He does it. He homers twice. And Pete Alonso tonight is the player of the game, as Pete Alonso is able to break open and add on to what the Mets were doing, going 2 for 4 with that RBI, 2 runs scored. Alonso leading the way and leading the charge as the Mets have to right the ship. Alonso, a leader of the team. Alonso, someone who also is going to opt out and try and get paid. I think it would behoove him and his case to really get going here down the stretch and leave no doubt about, hey, we need Pete Alonso. We need Pete Alonso back. Pete Alonso is a big part of this team and this offense. And, yes, Pete goes out there tonight 2 for 4 with a run batted in, a big homer. And then Trent Grisham. You're a mean one, Mr. Grish. Trent Grisham said, who needs doubles? Who needs doubles? F him. Because he doubled to start the game. And then he comes back and he hits his 31st homer. Trent Grisham, who was featured on the big screen at Target Field with a little trivia, a little nugget about Trent Grisham. It read, Trent Grisham met his wife in middle school, but didn't get married right away because they were in middle school. So, yeah, 2 for 4 with a homer, 3 runs, batted in, 31 homers on the season. Another guy that is going to get paid this offseason. 888-808-1019. Let's get to the phones. Let's get to the calls. Shout out to everybody again in the chat as we had doubled the chat. Armand Dutta, Dennis Salazar, my guy Amper in the chat. We got a good amount of consistent people. Bowling Jet, who says, shout out to Keith. I'm a Yankees fan, Jets fan, driving around doing deliveries for DoorDash. I used to do the same. I know that grind. Drive safe. Get your money. And enjoy the show in these calls, and I'll keep tapping in to see if you guys are talking about anything good to bring in to the airwaves. Ralph is in New Haven on the Fan. What's up, Ralph?
Hi, thanks for having me on. I'm a diehard Phillies fan. My question is the MVP in the American League. I know everybody's going to be going for Judge because it's a New York station and stuff, but the kid Cali is playing out of his mind. My question is, if Cal Raleigh was on the Yankees and Judge was on Seattle, who would Yankee fans vote for?
Cal Raleigh. Thanks for the call, Ralph. That's an easy one. And I could talk about this all day. What Cal Raleigh's doing is amazing. But there's just certain categories, man. If you've got the lead in all of these categories, WAR, OPS, batting average, and Judge isn't that far off your home run total, RBI total, then you're not the most valuable player. And it's You're not doing it on the stage that Judge is doing it. New York with the Yankees, who were in the World Series last year. I think it's Judge, but I know we've seen voter fatigue happen in the NFL. Lamar Jackson should have had his third MVP, but they gave Josh Allen one because what if Josh Allen never has a year like that? He's not going to get one. So Josh Allen ends up getting his MVP last year. And then if you go back a couple years in the NBA, the same thing happened with Nikola Jokic. He should have won it again, but they're like, are we really going to give Jokic another MVP? And he hasn't gotten to the finals. He fails in the playoffs. Well, he didn't get it that year. They gave it to Joel Embiid. And then what did Jokic do? Go win the finals, win finals MVP, and try and get out of Dodge and get back to his horses. Cal Raleigh is a horse, man. Big dumper. Cal Raleigh is a beast. He hit 56 and 57. He's tied with Ken Griffey for the Mariners all time. He's going to pass it. They have plenty of games left. Now, here's the plot twist. Like, at 56 home runs, like he's 4 away from 60. That puts him in rare air. And if I dare speak on him getting to 62, that's going to swing it. If he's able to hit 6 home runs in the next, 12 games? And that's not crazy the way that they pitch to him. I don't understand that either. I do understand it because it's the Mariners and it's Cal Raleigh. But like Judge, I'm sure if I go to stats and look up their walks, Judge has way more walks and they don't pitch to Judge. But the Mariners face the Astros coming up, the Rockies coming up, and the Dodgers. And I think there's a good chance that in these next 11 games, he could hit 6. He had 2 tonight. So if Kyle Raleigh ties the American League home run record, even if he's like, I don't know, if he ties it, I'm not going to say 61, but if he ties Judge, then this will be the year that they give Kyle Raleigh the MVP and they say, sorry, Judge. But if he comes short of 60, if he comes short of 62, I get it. He plays a demanding position. He's a catcher. I get it. He's a switch hitter. He's still not Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is the best hitter on the planet. Aaron Judge just won Player of the Week. Aaron Judge, they don't pitch to. Aaron Judge should get his next MVP, in my opinion, if he keeps it up, if he keeps his pace up. But if Cal Raleigh ties him, I think that's going to be enough for people to swing. Or God forbid, he hits 7, and then he's the new, sole possession of the American League home run record, then it's done. Judge missing a month is tough, but I think that helps his case too. He missed a month, and look at his numbers. Judge also playing right field, and just too many of these goofies that just, he plays right field in Yankee Stadium. I hear, I think Dallas Braden just came out and was talking about Nick Kurtz. And he said something stupid that people were getting at him about, Judge hits in Yankee Stadium, as if Judge is some type of short porch merchant, which he's not. Judge hits the ball 400, 500 feet. Yeah, his quote was, and remember, Aaron Judge is dumping baseballs into that Cracker Jack box out on the East Coast. Like, he said that during a call of an A's game. That's not the case at all. But people will use that against Judge, and then they'll use the fact that, he was out and he wasn't in right field. He plays a much easier defensive position. But if you go through Judge's highlights, I was there that Cubs game. Just that Cubs game alone, he made multiple diving catches, ridiculous catches. Judge is a good defender. He doesn't have his full arm, but we know he's got the cannon. So I'm not taking anything away from Judge. I think Judge should get this MVP. They owe him one anyway from Altuve stealing it. And if it's close with Cal Raleigh and Judge, I still think it's Judge. I think they give the nod to Judge for WAR, for OPS, for his batting average. Judge is, like I said, Judge is stealing bases to try and have another category where it's no, you don't even have me in that. Judge is an out of this world type of player consistently. Cal Raleigh is having an out of this world type of season this year. And kudos to him. Like I said, the Mariners have won 10 in a row. The Mariners are playing really good right now when you need to play really good. Head to head, the Yankees beat the Mariners. They swept the Mariners. And the Mariners right now are first place team in the West. I know that's part of it too, right? Because people are going to talk about how valuable are you if your team's not in first place, right? The Yankees aren't in first place. They're not catching first place. That nod will go to Cal Raleigh too. Hey, this team's in first place, and he's a big reason when you take Judge away from the Yankees, as the Yankees did this year, the Yankees are able to survive. If you take Kyle Raleigh away from the Mariners this year, they're not able to survive. That pitching staff falters. That lineup suffers without Kyle Raleigh. All respect to him. I'm just, going off of criteria and going off of what we're going to line up here. OPS, slug, on-base percentage, average, walks. Like, Judge is right behind Soto in walks. And Judge isn't looking to walk. Judge is 6 walks behind Soto. Where is Cal Raleigh in that regard? I probably got to scroll through. I probably got to go through multiple pages. Even with runs batted in, Cal Raleigh is at 118. Judge is at 103. Like, Judge could have a hot week here and close that gap some. Home runs, Cal Raleigh's at 56. Aaron Judge is at 48. I mean, it's a lot. There's a gap there. Judge got to get over 50 soon. And Cal Raleigh's got to stay under 60, but I just doubt that's going to happen. Hits, that's another big category. Aaron Judge has 164 hits. Cal Raleigh, I got to go to page 3 or 4 to find Cal Raleigh's number of hits. Runs, like if I don't even have to look. I just know runs. Judge added a couple runs. Judge is 125 runs. Cal Raleigh's got 104. Judge has got him beat in multiple categories. But it goes down to the votes. And I just think the voters are going to have voter fatigue. They hate the Yankees. They don't want to give the Yankees any more hardware. We've seen the Yankees get snubbed, Rookie of the Year. I still think when Rocco Baldelli won Manager of the Year, it should have been Boone in 2019. We see it all the time. So wouldn't be surprised if they do give it to Cal Raleigh. But clearly I'm a Yankee fan. If I have a vote, I'm voting for Judge. Back to the phones we go. Bruce is in Flushing on the Fan. What's up, Bruce?
Hey, Keith, before we get to my Yankee points, you mentioned a Winston trade. Is that a rumor?
Yeah.
That it happened?
So that's a joke. That's a joke that I dropped in there in my open, but there is talk about Joe Burrow going down. And I think Big Cat from Barstool is the main one that started it, but people are starting to lean into it. Joe Burrow shouldn't be out for that long, but people are saying, there are other quarterbacks that are hurt.
No, they said he's going to be out to mid to late December. So it makes sense.
With the turf toe injury, yeah, I guess. But Jake Browning was able to, I think, get them to the playoffs last year. But, yes, the conversation swirling around Jameis Winston, as Jameis Winston just went viral talking about, I'm a starter in this league, but I got to know my role and do my role here. There is some conversation swirling about what Jameis would do with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. And if the Bengals are serious about this year, they should inquire about trading for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, logically, you mean Winston. Yeah, it makes sense. Yankee points.
Yeah.
I agree with an earlier caller. To me, I love Cam, but to me, him coming out of the bullpen, 5th, 6th, 7th inning, and you have to be careful with him because you don't want to ruin the arm, and he's not used to it. You may have to fly the Jabba rules with him coming out of the bullpen, but he'd be the perfect guy to come out in middle innings if the starters, needs to get out, because Heel seems like he's getting into mid-season form. He had a little rust. He worked the rust off, and I think I'm more comfortable Heel starting Game 3 and having Cam coming out of the bullpen. Agree or disagree?
I completely agree. I think that's where we are today, especially if it's against the Red Sox. I just think there's going to be a little added emotion and pressure for him. And I just look at Heel, and we're going to see Heel in a postseason style start tonight against Taj Bradley, where he's got a hold because we can't lose this series to the Twins. And, he's been good his last couple outings. Just got to keep the walks down. I feel a lot more confident in Luis Heel, year 2. He pitched in the postseason last year. His season started late this year, so he's fresh. Cam Schlittler is definitely hitting some kind of wall here, and if he can transition to the bullpen, I think that's the move, and I think he's got the head for it. I think he's got I think he's got the mental for it. Like, he's not going to be like, oh, I can't do this. He's just going to come out and throw hard like he does. So that could be effective for an inning.
And I hope Boone noticed it's better to play Volpe when he's not hurt, and you give him a week off, and you give him some rest. Because today, Volpe looked like a completely different player than he did this entire season.
Cortisone tone, yeah. And it's obvious that, like, the kid, his dream was to play shortstop for the New York Yankees. And because he's durable, like they say, they throw him out there every single day. But maybe that's not what's best for him. I think we have gotten to that point now where we can all agree, hey, playing every single day, like everybody else gets rest, Judge gets rest. Like you were rotating the outfield with Dominguez getting an opportunity. I know it's the shortstop of the Yankees, but Volpe is always better. He performs better. He has better at bats. He hits better. He fields better after a couple days off, and especially this year with a partially torn labrum.
Have a good night, Keith.
Thanks for the call, Bruce. Yeah, earlier today, I'm trying to find the quote too. Boone was asked about Caballero, and Boone was asked about Volpe, and I want to read the exact quote because I don't want to do a verbatim and miss a word here or make something up. Let's see. Max Goodman writes, Aaron Boone's explanation for why Volpe is starting today at shortstop and not Jose Caballero. He says Volpe's ready to go, and also Caballero is not a guy that plays every single day, and I want to be mindful of that. He's a little beat up too. Want to get Anthony back into the mix here, and hopefully he gives us some spark today. Now, he did enough today. He had 2 hits early today. He looked better today. But it's funny, right? It's just the situation that the Yankees put themselves in. It's just the situation that the Yankees find themselves in late in the season here. Caballero, too, wants to play every single day, right? Caballero's living a dream. He gets out of Tampa, who's playing in the Yankees spring training facility, and now he gets to play in Yankee Stadium with his eye black and his bright wristbands and his 72, and he's the shortstop of the Yankees. Andy Martino had a tweet that was like, it made you think. He said, in fairness to Volpe, Jose Caballero has had both a moment on defense and a moment on offense tonight for which Volpe would have been excoriated. And when you think back to 2 nights ago, if that was Volpe kind of being stuck between, do I have an unassisted double play? Oh, wait, now do I get it to Jazz? And then they don't turn the double play and we don't get out of it. People would have killed Volpe for that. And then if it was Volpe getting picked off a second and getting caught and on the base paths, running into an out, they would have fried Anthony Volpe. But because Anthony Volpe is the whipping boy, Yankee fans will excuse the guy filling in for the whipping boy. He can do no wrong. Caballero, great. Caballero homered. Caballero steals bases. Caballero, fields the position a lot smoother. But there has to be a happy balance between them both playing, depending on matchups. And like we saw tonight, okay, if Caballero's not the starting shortstop, you can put him in late in the game to pinch run and put pressure on the defense. You need that, right? He's a better base runner than Dominguez. It could be Dominguez going in for Stanton on first. No, you want Caballero, the leader in stolen bases, to go in and take that bag. He's taking it every single time. 888-808-1019. Volpe's just got to have productive at-bats. He can't go 0 for 4. He can't have a bunch of strikeouts. For him tonight to have a double, a single, and a walk, I started calling him Cortisone Tone. I gave him a nickname. This is a different guy. Cortisone Tone was out there like, yo, I'm back. 1 strikeout, whatever. He still drove in a run. And he needs rest. I mean, a torn labrum, that's nothing to shake off, as the Yankees did all season. But at least you kind of give a head nod to Brian Cashman. Good on Brian Cashman to go get Jose Caballero, so we have that option. Better late than never, right? Sorting this out before we get to October. I told you last night, I guarantee you Anthony Volpe is in the starting lineup. There's no question. Right? You would think with these 13 games in 13 days, they might have done it to start the series. Obviously, as this is the softer spot in the schedule, the trap part of the schedule, if you ask me. But, with Caballero opened the door. I said I've seen Caballero yawn. I don't know if he's a sleepy type. I don't know if he sleeps. I think he's so wired. I don't see him catching Z's. But, yeah, he left the door open, or he cracked the door open with the mistake in the field, the mistake on the base paths. We're like, okay, yeah, Volpe. This is the opportunity to get Volpe in, and Volpe did good tonight. Good enough. Good enough compared to some of his other games. Good enough to, help the team move the line along, get to Wells, pass the baton, get on base, pass the baton to Wells. How about Wells? Wells has 3 different times that he has hit the ball off the top of the rim and it has bounced in. He did that, I believe, earlier in the season against the Arizona Diamondbacks in the rain in Yankee Stadium. He did that in Houston in right field. The ball bounced off the top and back in, and then he did it again tonight in Minnesota. He's got to hit the weight room or do some push-ups. I remember talking to John Carlos Stanton, the game I filled in for Susan Waldman against the White Sox last year. Stanton had one hit off the top of the wall and back in. And then his next at-bat, he hit the next one way out. And when I interviewed him as Susan's star of the game after the game, I said, what'd you do in between at-bats? The first one, you didn't get out. The second one, you got clear out. He's like, I just needed to get a quick pump, do some push-ups in between at-bats. I don't know if he was joking or not, but, maybe Wells should take that advice. Do some push-ups between at-bats, bro. You've had 3 would-be home runs that came within inches away, not even a foot. Hit the top of the wall and back. 888-808-1019. Keith McPherson on the Fan. We will continue the conversation around the Yankees and the Mets. Call us up. We will be right back.
It's Boomer and Gio, mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
For the Cowboys to give up that many points and that many yards to a Giants offense. I understand it's different. It's Russell Wilson, and he's got a history, and he's a Hall of Famer and all that stuff. But still, this Giants offense hasn't produced a damn thing for years, regardless who's been back there.
Listen to Boomer and Gio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Town Fair Tire is Connecticut's largest name brand discount tire dealer. We give you the guaranteed lowest prices on all name brand tires and honor all manufacturers' rebates. We even honor our competitors' rebates. With over 100 stores from Connecticut through New England and an inventory of over 600,000 tires, you'll always get the right tire at the guaranteed lowest price. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody!
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
This is J.J. Hill of Shulman & Hill, New York's premier injury law firm. We'll always stand up for you if you're injured in a slip and fall. If you've ever wished you had a lawyer in the family, now you will. At Shulman & Hill, it's never one and done. Once you're a client, you're always part of our family. Shulman & Hill, we're not just New York's law firm, we're your law firm. Get your free consultation at hurtny.com. That's hurtny.com.
Go to WFAN.com/contest to enter for a chance to win tickets to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest live at PNC Bank Arts Center on September 26th. From our friends at Live Nation, tickets are on sale at livenation.com.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
You got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this,
All right, hold on 1 second. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
We get it. Attention spans just aren't what they used to be. Heads in social media and eyes on Netflix. But what do people do with their ears? Well, for one, they're listening to audio. Americans spend 4.4 hours with audio every day. Oh, and you want the proof? Well, you just sat through this ad that's now approaching 30 seconds. What could you say to a potential customer in 30 seconds? Let Odyssey put together a media plan tailor-made for your unique marketing needs. Advertise with Odyssey. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Hey Yankees fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Friday, September 26th when the Yankees host the division rival Orioles for a great promotional giveaway. It's Yankees Jersey Hoodie Night, presented by Star Insurance. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankees Jersey hoodie. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com/tickets. Don't miss Yankees Jersey Hoodie Night when the Yankees face the Baltimore Orioles on Friday, September 26th. Visit Yankees.com/tickets today.
Injured? Don't be a whiner. Call me, attorney Mark Miner. I'm Mark Miner, and I have over 30 years of experience handling personal injury cases. If you or a loved one has been injured in an accident, don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. You can trust that the personal injury law firm of Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner will treat you with respect and fight for your rights. Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE for a free consultation. Our goal is to transform your pain into payment. If there is no recovery, there is no fee. We handle all type of accident cases and value the opportunity to help you. The sooner you call, the better. If you are injured, call 1-800-LAW-LINE so we can discuss how to transform your pain into payment. Don't be a whiner. Call Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner at 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Zalman, Schnurman, and Miner, personal injury attorneys.
Don't whine. Call 1-800-LAW-LINE. That's 1-800-LAW-LINE.
Whether you're heading out on a road trip or planning a weekend escape, make every mile unforgettable in a Mercedes-Benz from Mercedes-Benz of Edison. From sporty SUVs and timeless sedans to cutting-edge hybrids, their expert team will help you find the perfect fit. Mercedes-Benz of Edison has over 400 new and certified pre-owned vehicles to choose from. And with flexible lease and finance offers, getting behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz has never been easier. Mercedes-Benz of Edison, the Tri-State's premier destination for luxury driving.
Hi, former New York Giant Leonard Marshall here. Please join me at the Alzheimer's Foundation of America Family Fun Day on September 27th. Bring your family to AFA's Barbara Rabinowitz Educational Resource Center in Amityville for a fun-filled day of intergenerational activities and celebration of Grandparents Appreciation Month. Learn more and register at AFA's September 27th Family Fun Day by visiting afalongisland.org or calling 631-223-4000.
Your home equity could vanish almost overnight, stolen by scammers who forge a deed and transfer it out of your name. The FBI calls it house stealing, and the worst part is you may not know it until it's too late. Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO for a 30-day free trial, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now. Promo code RADIO.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Talk sports with BT and Sal. Middays 10 to 2. WFAN, WFAN FM, WFAN FM HD1 New York, and Odyssey Sports Station.
WFAN Sports Flash.
Good morning at 1 o'clock. I'm Marco Belletti. Mets carried the momentum from Sunday, battering Michael King for 8 runs in 3 innings, including 5 in the first, as they ripped the Padres 8-3. Clay Holmes, 4 innings, a 2-run ball, followed by Sean Manaea giving up a run over 5. So is this piggyback from these two something we're going to see again?
Yes, but we still got to talk about whether we want to go the same way with Clay or Sean, or do we start Sean because of the lineup? Looking at the Nationals and some of their lefties at the top, so we got to have those discussions, but that's the plan, to do it again on Sunday.
As for the wild card picture, the Mets remain 1.5 up on the Diamondbacks, while the Giants and Reds fell 3 behind. Yankees outlast the Twins 10-9, holding on after jumping out to a 10-1 lead. Cam Schlittler struggled, 4 runs, 5 walks over 4 2/3. Bullpen able to hold on by their fingernails.
Command was a little bit shaky early on. Was able to get out of it in the first, kind of getting a little bit of a rhythm after that, and I think just let up the home run there, and then try to get to the picky there when you're up 8 runs. So it's embarrassing, but you got to get in the zone, especially with that lead.
Trent Grisham went deep. Ben Rice had 3 hits. Anthony Volpe returned after 4 games off, 2 for 4 in RBI, a couple of runs scored and a walk. Blue Jays won, so the Yankees still 5 back, but Boston lost, so the Bombers opened up a 2-game lead on the Red Sox for that top wild card. 66 degrees, cloudy skies, Central Park. That's what's happening. I'm Marco Belletti.
This city lives and breathes sports. WFAN is where Yankees fans argue with Mets fans and Giants fans debate Jets fans. Live, loud, and daily. The Fan, 101.9 FM and always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
And we're back. LGM. Emphasis on the G, though. Like, it's time to go, though. They have to go, though. They have to make it happen. The Make It Happen Mets. They scored early and didn't look back. Cedric Mullins homering. That's a good sign. And Sean Manaea returning to form is a good sign. He threw strikes. 71 pitches, 52 of them for strikes. Didn't walk anybody. He looked good. You know, he said he found something the last start, and now the Mets, whether it's the pitching lab or David Stearns or whoever, deciding to have him piggyback Clay Holmes. It's genius. These guys can't go more than 4 innings. 1 + 2 + 4 carry to 1 and a 5, 6, 7. You confuse them together, make Clay Sean, and give you 9 innings. Don't have to go to the bullpen. Eureka. Now let's see what happens with David Peterson, who is scheduled to pitch today, and then Jonah Tong, who is scheduled to pitch Thursday. 11 earned runs in 3 starts, a 8.49 ERA. He's the weakest link, but he's young. He's 22. You know, he was compared to Tim Lincecum. I know when I was watching him coming up, I'm like, this kid's going to be something. He's got the stuff. Even like his legs, I'm like, but he's a young guy. He's a young guy. You can kind of excuse, the pressure of that Friday night, him not getting out of that first inning. But now you want to see how he bounces back. Oh, would you look at this? Tuesdays with Tiki on the screen. They cut to Citi Field, and it's Evan Roberts and Tiki Barber at the Met game. That's why the Mets won. They knew that the SNY show, Evan and Tiki was going to be in the building, and Evan was going to score the game. That's why they won. But anyway, yeah, Met fans, call me up. Tell me how you feel. Are you back on the ride? I don't know. I feel like from just listening to enough Met fan spaces and conversations and reading Twitter, like last week was brutal. I don't know why the Mets have to do that to y'all. Like, they bring you guys down into the sewer. They drag you through it. They make you hate them. And then they pop back up with 2 wins. They do something to change up the pitching, and they hit, and now you're kind of like, wait, we're still in it. We're not out. If this continues, we're in the postseason, and anything can happen, and you got to believe, and they just got to get hot. And maybe we do have enough between Peterson and Nolan McLean and Clay Sean and maybe Brandon Sproat. Maybe we do have enough to get through a 3-game wild card set, and then who knows what happens. Especially when you look at how it's lining up. Like, let me go to the scores now and double check and see if the Dodgers ended up. The Phillies won. The Phillies won.
The Dodgers tied the game in the 8th, and then Marchand hit a 2-out, 3-run go-ahead homer for the Phillies in the 9th after there were 2 outs and nobody on.
How about the Phillies, man? Like I said, I was looking at them drinking the night before, but I mean, that's what these ball players do. I was looking at them drinking. I'm like, how are they going to play tomorrow? They're going in. They found a way. But you know what? They arrived late. The hangover had to surpass a bit. You need every hour for that hangover to subside.
They were hitless against Ohtani for the first 5 innings. Took him out, destroyed the bullpen.
Exactly. Ohtani gave up nothing, mowed him down. I saw him strike out Bryce Harper, and then they were able to beat the Dodgers 9-6 to get that victory out in L.A. Now, what I was saying before about the postseason, if the postseason ended today, which it doesn't, but I just feel like we're so close 2 weeks, it would take I just don't see the Mets having another losing streak here. Maybe they lose 2 games in a row, but that's not a streak. I don't see them having a 3-game losing streak or a 4-game, not as bad as what they just went through. So if you could go through all of that and still be in position, like I said, looking at these teams that are chasing them, they're bums. They either sold or they're just like, there's no real threat. The Diamondbacks have kind of come out of nowhere, winning 4 in a row. They're a game and a half back. But nah, it's the Mets. It's the Mets' third wild card spot to lose. And I think you feel comfortable going to L.A. and seeing what happens against the Dodgers. And if you get past the Dodgers and it's the Phillies you meet, you will be dancing in the streets because you know that they can beat the Phillies. Even though they were last swept by the Phillies, you know that they can beat the Phillies. So what an interesting couple weeks we have left in this baseball season. What an interesting couple weeks we will have going into October. And it's just different than we expected. We were expecting World Series. We were expecting division titles. But there's something to it as far as like, you know, it doesn't have to be a straight shot. It doesn't have to be the scripted road of we're going to win 90-plus games. We're going to win the division. We're going to get a bye. It would behoove you to have that bye. You think that bye is helpful, you know, just to have, you know, the road of least resistance to have a pathway where you don't have to play as many games. But maybe they need to fight and battle and maybe the, you know, putting teams on ice this year, it didn't happen last year. Like the Dodgers and the Yankees had byes and make it to the World Series, but it's a different year. Maybe this year, those teams that rest, they get caught up. Those teams that have time off, they get caught up. 888-808-1019. And, you know, for the Yankees side, I don't care if it's the Astros or the Red Sox at this point. They're not winning the division. So be it. It is what it is. Astros or Red Sox don't matter to me. They're both missing guys. Like, will Roman Anthony be back for the wild card? I bet he tries to give it a go. Same with Yordan Alvarez. Will he be back? I don't think with the way that ankle cranked like that, I don't think he's going to be able to give it a go in 2 weeks. He just did it. Like most of us have had an ankle sprain. Most of us have. I've had an ankle sprain and a broken foot that came from like an ankle sprain. Like it takes a while. It takes a lot of ice and just sleeping it off and some stem and some rehab and just to even be able to stand on it with some strength. I just don't see Yordan Alvarez coming back to help the Astros. And maybe this is the year that Judge hits like Judge in the postseason, at least in that 3-game wild card set. And even if he doesn't, I was talking about it last night, they have the lineup. They have the lineup from Trent Grisham to Cody Bellinger to Ben Rice to Giancarlo Stanton. It doesn't have to be just Judge. Jazz Chisholm, they have enough guys that can make you pay. And now if we're getting this production out of Volpe and Wells perhaps in the bottom of the order, let's see it, man. Let's see it. You know, I'm off the roller coaster, but I'm never out of the amusement park. I'm stuck in the Yankees amusement park. I'm always rooting for them to win the World Series. Like I got off the ride because I'm like, I don't believe this is a World Series team. I don't believe this is a team that could win. I think they're going to do a lot of stupid things, as they still have done, to get in their own way. But once we get into the tournaments, a new season. Let's go Yanks, win the World Series, and no excuses. I mean, I heard people making excuses for them in this gauntlet final exam, as I called it, with 7 wins and not 8. I'm like, nah, that's not good enough. Like, if you get 8, right? If you swept Toronto or you get 8 and you take 2 from Detroit, you'd be in better standing right now. Or if you swept the Red Sox, you'd be in a better spot right now. The division wouldn't be lost right now. Like, I needed 8 out of 12. They did good, but they didn't do enough. And because of this long season where, I don't know, they lost the series to the Cincinnati Reds. You know, there's just, they were swept by the Miami Marlins, bro. Like, when you go back through this season and you think about the games that they left out there, like how they were dominated by the Boston Red Sox, swept in Fenway in June. Not good enough. How they went to Canada for Boxing Day. You know, they went to the Rogers Center and they just lost 4 in a row. And then they kept losing. They had 2 different 6-game losing streaks, couldn't stop the bleeding. Like that comes back to bite you now, late in the year. That comes back to haunt you a bit here, late in the year. Even like going into the All-Star break and coming out of the All-Star break, right? They had that great game against the Cubs. I was there. Like Carlos Rodon, excellent. That's the night Judge made all those plays, and Belly almost had 4 homers. Then they dropped the next 2 to the Cubs. Then they come out of the All-Star break, lose the first one to the Braves. Yorbit Vivas not sliding. It's like, damn. If you had 2 of those games back, you'd be in a different spot. But it is what it is. It's a long baseball season, and here we are now cramming at the end and hoping that they don't lose series and hoping that they handle business here. Like Taj Bradley on the mound. I think they can easily win the game, but also at the same time, Taj Bradley could shove and Luis Heel could get hit up, and they're in a tough spot. And then I'm not looking forward to 4 in Camden Yards before returning home. The Orioles are pesky. They have some hitters. They're scrappy. Like I don't expect them to sweep the Orioles. I'd like to see them sweep the Orioles. I've seen them go and bully the Orioles in years past, but these Orioles have some guys. So we are not out of the woods yet. Nothing is signed and sealed. Nothing is locked up yet. But I think we feel good about, the Mets most likely being the 3rd wild card and the Yankees being the 1st wild card. And whoever it is that we end up dancing with, most likely the Dodgers for the Mets, and for the Yankees, most likely the Red Sox. And so be it. With the Red Sox tonight, they had their young guy on the mound, and they found a way to lose. I'm seeing Boston fans hating Greg Weissert. Remember Greg Weissert, the pride of Fordham? Greg Weissert, who pitched for the Yankees very briefly. I believe he's come in after their young guys have made starts, and he's been the guy to give it up. He gave it up tonight as they had Kennelly early. His first 9 MLB innings, he went 16 Ks, no runs. I think Greg Weissert, the Red Sox fans, they're not feeling Greg Weissert right now. So that means we won the Alex Verdugo trade. Boston Strong writes, Greg Weissert leads the American League with 9 blown saves, tied for the most in the majors. We have won. Got rid of Greg Weissert, put that problem on the Boston Red Sox. It was Greg Weissert and another arm for Verdugo, I forget. Greg Weissert on his night, he said, we lose that game because I can't do my job. Early pitches in an unbelievable game, and I go out there and do that BS. It sucks. Well, at least he learned the accountability being with the Yankees. You get in front of the microphone. If it's on you, it's on you. They also put out a picture. Greg Weissert Hate Club. I guess it's all the young pitchers that pitched for the Red Sox, and Weissert went out there and gave it up after they did their thing. Yeah, the Boston Red Sox have lost, I think they've gone 4-19 in their last 13 home games. So they don't even want to host the wild card round. They don't even want the Yankees to come to Boston. And they're kind of fading out here as I enter the chat again. And I don't know what it is, man. Back-to-back nights, we've had to mute an imposter. So my YouTube channel is named after my LLC, McPherson Brand LLC, McPherson Brand YouTube. So in the chat, I'm in there as McPherson Brand, but there's another, McPherson Brand that popped up, completely trolling. And I guess to pretend to be me, all he does is say anti-Met stuff. That's all you take me as? It's just a Met hater. But everybody in the chat is mad cool. We doubled the chat since I went on. Big Mac will not be on tonight, so this chat will end. Sorry, womp, womp, womp. Hate to break it to you. This chat will end in like 30 minutes. But let's take some questions from the chat and some conversation from the chat. A lot of the chat was talking about, the bullpen of the Yankees and the starting pitching for the Mets. And just kind of feeling like that is what's going to damn both teams when we get to October. Both teams have the lineup. Both teams have the hitters. Both teams have postseason proven players that at the plate can get it done. But the question mark is certainly both pitching. The Yankees bullpen. Even the Mets bullpen. But it's really the Mets starting pitching before you get the bullpen is rested for the Mets. You want to see them go out there and do what they got to do. Mendoza's got to press the right buttons. But obviously there's question marks with Gregory Soto and Ryan Helsley for the Mets, and with the Yankees, like the circle of trust now. I think I saw a Yankee source try to rank. Here's Yankee source on Twitter. Shout out to Yankee source. Maybe they're listening. This is Yankee source's pecking order. Number 1, David Bednar. Number 2, Devin Williams. Number 3, Fernando Cruz. Number 4, Luke Weaver. Number 5, Ryan Yarbrough. Number 6, Camilo Doval. Or number 5, I think they have a typo. It should have been 6, Camilo Doval. 7, Tim Hill. And 8, Mark Leiter Jr. No mention of Paul Blackburn, obviously. I think the Yankees have Leiter Jr. higher. They love going to Leiter Jr. Doval, I just don't. I think he's useless. I don't see a spot for Doval. He hasn't been good at all. How can you pitch him in the postseason? I guess my list is similar. As I see Amper in the chat, Cam, give us your bullpen tier list for the Yankees. Point blank, no ties between players. I would say David Bednar is your closer, so he's number 1. He's gonna get the ball to end the game. Devin Williams, man, I'm sorry. And I hate to say it, and I hope I'm dead ass wrong, but I think right now we are being set up for the failure that's going to come in October. Devin Williams is going to be solid the next 2 weeks against these lesser teams. It is low leverage. It doesn't mean anything. And then Devin Williams could blow one of these wild card games in Yankee Stadium, and we're going to be like, see, he is who we thought he is. But right now you have no other option. So, yeah, Devin Williams is there. Now, I'm going to put Cam Schlittler in at 3 because I think Cam Schlittler for an inning can go in there and throw 99, 100, and I think he can make the adjustment. I think it'd be good for him. I think it'd be good for us to have a guy that's coming in the 6th or 7th inning throwing gas, maybe striking out the side. Then I'll go Fernando Cruz with his splitter, but, Fernando Cruz has been a little bit of an adventure lately, but he's got swing and miss stuff, and we need him to be a weapon. I don't know why Tim Hill has fallen out of favor, but Tim Hill did it last year in the postseason. I know, he's a lefty specialist, but I think Tim Hill in some spots can be pretty good. Then under him, I would put Leiter. Then I would put Weaver. I don't trust Weaver at all. I've seen Weaver. I like Weaver against Toronto, Weaver against the Dodgers, Weaver has had some bad showings this entire season and recently. That fastball is flat and it's getting rocked and he doesn't have the same fire and energy that he had last year. I think he's questioning himself. So Weaver is really low on my circle of trust. Doval would be last, Yarbrough, and then Doval would be last, and Paul Blackburn. Doval is just what's the use? I know he throws hard, but he hasn't been able to figure it out. He's useless for the Yankees in the postseason. You can't pitch him. There's no spot for you to pitch him. And they've tried to put him in as this all right, come in and clean things up. And he just makes more of a mess. There is no cleaning things up. 888-808-1019. Jonathan says, Jonathan Sosa, who you think would be a better matchup in the Bronx? The Astros or the faded Red Sox? Better as far as better result for the Yankees? I think the Astros. You just went and beat them. They don't have Yordan Alvarez. I think that, they would be fading. Now, the faded Red Sox, they're fading too. They don't have Roman Anthony, but Garrett Crochet, that's going to be tough. And they've dominated the Yankees this year. Yeah, Matt says Tim Hill is too low. I feel like he's become a forgotten man. I don't know. I guess he's fallen out of favor with the Yankees some, or maybe they specifically just want to use him against certain parts of the lineup. Doug T says, has Doval had a single good outing since coming to New York? He did. Was it when we went on the road last? Not when we went on the road against the Astros, but I think before that, Doval maybe had a good outing against the White Sox. But what's that worth? It's not really worth much. And then I think against St. Louis too. He might. I don't know. But those don't carry any weight because they're not against good teams. It's not like a high leverage spot. Yeah, Doval. The Yankees beat the White Sox 10-2 in that second game. Doval was the last guy standing on the mound. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk. Got those 3 outs. They can try and fix him, but you've got 2 weeks here to fix him and have faith in him, and that's tough. I'm trying to think of something for my tell me something cool. This isn't cool, but Katie Sharp has hit us with some stats tonight. Katie Sharp, obviously always on the stats. She said the Yankees have 23 games with 10-plus runs scored, the most in MLB this season. It is the Yankees' most in a season since 2019. They had 25. The Yankees' bullpen has a 5.71 ERA since the day after the trade deadline. That's the worst in MLB over that span. And I remember getting on doing that show that night, and we celebrated what Brian Cashman did to revamp this bullpen. No more JT Brubaker, no more Scott Efros, no more Jonathan Loaizaga. Instead, we've got David Bednar, Camilo Doval, Jake Bird. Here we go. Didn't turn out the way we thought it would turn out, but there's still more to go. And actually that cues us up for David Stearns, right? Because there was a question posed to David Stearns today. When we come back, I'll play a little bit of audio from David Stearns. But David Stearns had a question where he was like, what exactly went wrong? And he stopped them and he said, first of all, I would say we're not at the end of the line yet. Like, he had to remind people, like, what went wrong? You guys are acting like the season's over. Like, what went wrong? Why'd you miss the postseason? Why did you guys fail? And he said there's potential chapters yet to be written, but to this point, it's a fair assessment that our trade deadline, at least some of our trade deadline acquisitions, have not performed to the level that we expected or to the level that they have performed at throughout their careers. Part of that is streakiness and randomness, and this happens every year in baseball with some trade deadline acquisitions. Part of it is we need to look and ensure that we're doing everything we can to help these guys succeed. So, I mean, Cedric Mullins homer tonight. Maybe he has righted his ship a bit. But obviously they're talking about Ryan Helsley and Gregory Soto. And we applauded David Stearns the day before the deadline because we felt like he won the day. We felt like he won the day getting Rogers and getting Helsley. It was like he got Rogers, I think the Phillies got Duran, and then he got Helsley, and it was like almost like he one-upped them. But Helsley has been terrible. 888-808-1019. Tony in Montreal back on the fan. What's up, Tony?
How you doing, Keith?
Good. How are you?
Listen, I'm good. I just want to just say one thing. Baseball is a hell of a long season. And, when I'm listening to the commentary on WFAN, sometimes it's like the world just fell apart and it's all over and we're always going to lose. And then tonight, that's when they lose, obviously. And then tonight, you see they come back. I mean, it was kind of ugly at the end there when they gave up all those runs, but they ended up winning anyway. And, baseball is like that. It's just the way it is. That's the sport of failure. And you just can't ever be happy in New York. You guys have, like, a great team and you have great players. They always seem to come up with a bunch of, I look at the lineup 1 to 6, you got superstar players, amazing home run power. I don't know how many players are going to end up with 20 home runs on this team. And look, like you said today, Volpe comes back, gets a single, a double. And I'm just wondering, because you guys see him more than me, like, is it really the cortisone that puts him back on the way he hit tonight? Is it really
no,
the
I think
cortisone?
it's his head. I think it's mental. I think him getting the break and not having the stress for a couple days is a much-needed reset. He's in a high-pressure situation being the shortstop of the Yankees.
It's just amazing. Like you said, the last time we saw him, he was struggling, couldn't hit anything. But when I called into you guys the other night, Keith, and I know I didn't speak to you. I spoke to one of your other great guys that were there, and some guy followed up and said, "Hey, this guy Tony from Montreal doesn't know anything about baseball."
Who said that?
I don't know, one of your callers. I'm like, bro, I don't pretend. I'm a fan. Yeah, one of the callers, not one of you guys, but like it's kind of a pot shot to say hope Tony is going to be calling in when the hockey season's on. It's like I've been following baseball since I'm 5 years old. I'm 66. I think that's quite a bit of time. That's about 60 years.
But I honestly hate when anyone says that. Thanks for the call, Tony, and this will take us to the break. I hate when anyone uses the phrase, this guy doesn't know anything about baseball. Baseball is vast. You can't know everything. Baseball has history. Baseball has layers. Baseball has the minors. Baseball has a lot of business things and transactional things and a lot of stats and numbers. It's the thinking man's game because there's a ton to think about and know about. So I hate when anybody ever says, oh, someone doesn't know anything about baseball. There's a lot to know. I think everybody that watches baseball and that's into baseball knows something about it, but it doesn't have to be a competition. I swear some of y'all think it's so cool to be baseball savant. It's not. You're not getting any ass that way. You're not getting any girls that way. That always comes back, because people said to me, oh, this guy doesn't know anything about baseball. I'm not trying to act like I know everything about baseball, bro. I'm not a baseball almanac. I love the game. I'm a fan. There's some things that I know about the stadium, the team, the culture, the history, other ballparks that you don't know, but I'm not flexing that on you. So stop. Don't do that to other people. Don't call and say, oh, this guy doesn't know anything about baseball, or even online, oh, this guy doesn't know ball. Help the next person. If you hear somebody say something, I say this about myself, because I understand being in the power chair, being on the mic, you guys expect us to know everything. I don't know everything. I'm not old enough to know everything. And I also don't spend all of my time reading and researching and doing all that. I'm not a nerd, bro. And there were also times in my life where I wasn't just watching baseball all day. Now it's my job, but I played sports. I went to college. I did other things. There were times, there were years that I wasn't as locked in on the Yankees. I wasn't as much of a diehard fan. Maybe you knew more about a certain era than me. So what? Call up and educate me. Call up and correct me. I won't take it personal. But I definitely take it personal when people say someone doesn't know anything about baseball. That's whack as hell. It's not a competition. And if you think you know everything about baseball, you're incorrect. There's always something you can learn. I learn something new every single year about baseball. And that's why I love the game. It is, like I said, it is vast. I can't wait till my son gets older and asks questions and wants to know things. And there's going to be something that I don't know. And we're going to type it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is going to know. And then we learn and we share information and knowledge. And that brings people deeper into a baseball game. I hate when people say, oh, baseball's boring. Or why are you watching baseball? Who watches baseball? People that know what's going on. Because if you go to a live baseball game and you know what's going on, it takes your mind into so many different places. 888-808-1019. Keith McPherson on the fan. When we come back, I'll play a little bit of David Stern's meeting the media, because I was saying I want to hear from David Stearns. I want to hear from David Stearns in all of this. And honestly, he doesn't give you too much, and they don't really drill him with questions. But he was on for 17 minutes, and we have some clips from that. We'll play that, and we'll get to the rest of the calls, and I'll get up out of the way in about 22 minutes. Keith McPherson on the fan, BRB.
Every Saturday at 8 a.m., it's Kickoff with Boomer and Mike Valenti, where the guys break down the biggest headlines and storylines from across the NFL.
I look forward to breaking down that game with you, but I know we do have some NFL news to get into and talk about.
Kickoff with Boomer and Valenti is brought to you by Nationwide. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side. The Fan, 101.9 FM, and always streaming on Odyssey, TuneIn, and the iHeartRadio app.
Town Fair Tire became New England's #1 discount tire dealer by giving you the absolute lowest prices guaranteed. And with over 100 stores from Connecticut to Maine, we'll beat anybody's price. Other dealers, we beat them. Warehouse clubs, we beat them. Online sites, we beat them all every day. So remember, for the absolute guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires, nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.
Name brands at discount prices. Town Fair Tire.
Tune in to Boomer and Gio for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Hardy, Jim Bob World Tour, coming to Madison Square Garden on Wednesday, September 24th. From our friends at Live Nation, to purchase tickets, visit livenation.com.
This is J.J. Hill of Shulman & Hill. New York's premier injury law firm. We'll always fight for you if you're injured at a construction site. If you've ever wished you had a lawyer in the family, now you will. At Shulman & Hill, it's never one and done. Once you're a client, you're always part of our family. Shulman & Hill. We're not just New York's law firm, we're your law firm. Get your free consultation at hurtny.com. That's hurtny.com.
Oh, what are you doing? Don't do New York City dirty.
New York City's my heart, my soul. I would never do this place dirty because everything I want is in this city.
Why would you want to dirty somewhere that you live?
This is your home. You don't throw papers out the window, flick cigarette butts.
It's disrespectful. Dispose of it the correct way.
I would never put trash on the ground. That's why we got trash cans. Don't do New York City dirty. Trash your trash.
A message from the Sanitation Foundation.
One by one, we keep this city clean, man. Let's get it.
Hey, it's Boomer and Gio. Boomer and Gio is both a radio show and a podcast. You can find us anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your pods.
Catch the full episode, listen by individual hour, or jump straight to the highlights. Just open up your favorite podcast app, search Boomer and Gio, and hit the follow button to get every minute of the show your way and on your time.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-750-2525. That's 800-750-2525. Again, that's 800-750-2525.
With over 90 years of combined legal experience representing the law enforcement community, Decolator Cohen and DePrisco, LLP, continues to strive to educate police officers of their civil rights to sue in line-of-duty accident cases. The 2025 Police Officers' Right to Sue newsletter can be viewed on policeofficersrighttosue.com and provides successful results in varying line-of-duty accident cases. These results include damages recovered from RMP accidents involving the City of New York and civilian motorists, station house defects, ricochet injuries from the range, private premises slip and falls, sidewalk slip and falls, construction defects, snow and ice cases, and injuries emanating from defective RMPs. In any LOD accident, it is important for the officer to take photographs of any defects, injuries, or damage. It is also essential to draft the line-of-duty report and detail the cause of the accident in the paperwork. Remember, there's a 90-day time limitation to file a claim against a municipality. If any law enforcement member has a question regarding a potential lawsuit, contact Decolator Cohen and DePrisco, LLP at policeofficersrighttosue.com or call 1-800-901-1529.
Back when I played, overdrafting a bank account meant crazy fees. Cash App has your back with free overdraft coverage up to $200 when you set up direct deposit of at least $300 per month and use the Cash App card. No hidden fees, just peace of mind if something unexpected does happen. Download Cash App today. Use code WFAN10. Send $5 to a friend within 14 days and you'll score $10.
Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Direct deposit overdraft coverage and discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures.
Imagine a gentleman's club with over 200 gorgeous exotic dancers every week.
Hey, big boy.
From the people who make fantasies come true, Gallagher's 2000 in Long Island City is the place to be. Gallagher's 2000, a gentleman's club for today, gentlemen. Gallagher's 2000 features 2 floors, 3 stages, discounted drinks, VIP, champagne rooms, and dinner specials every night. Gallagher's 2000 offers complimentary lunch Thursdays and Fridays with any drink purchase.
Come on down, big boy.
Gallagher's 2000 is New York's largest upscale gentleman's club, and Gallagher's 2000's bachelor parties will blow you away. For their bachelor party specials, call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is located at 4319 37th Street in Long Island City, Queens, just a half a block north of Queens Boulevard. Call 718-361-1348. Gallagher's 2000 is unlike any club in New York. Come tonight for the time of your life. Gallagher's 2000.
Let your imagination run wild.
At City Harvest, we're on the road every day rescuing millions of pounds of nutritious food for New Yorkers in need, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
In the U.S., it is estimated that more than 1 in 5 adults live with mental illness. Help is available. Call 988 to start on your road to mental health care. We can survive together. From your friends at Town Fair Tire.
Tell Siri to dial the fan. 888-808-1019. Powered by Paramount Plus. Count on Sundays all season long with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus.
Ever since I left the city, you and me, we just don't get along. Made me feel like I did you wrong. Drake need to go ahead and drop that Iceman. Waiting on that Iceman album all summer now. Summer's about to be over. 888-808-1019. You used to call me on my cell phone. Well, this isn't my cell phone. This is a landline. Fleegs will pick up, and then you'll talk to me. But before we do that, I wanted you to hear David Stern's talk to you, the Met fan, and the media about how the season has gone and Carlos Mendoza and the trade deadline and all those things. So if you missed it earlier on SNY, on YouTube, we do have some cuts from David Stearns. Let's first go to him, just kind of, talking about the season, accepting things for where they are today and how things have gone.
When you're sitting where we were in mid-June, we would not have expected to be in this spot. There's no question about that. And we'll have time to evaluate and diagnose and do all of that stuff. For right now, my focus is from here forward, what can we do to win as many games as possible? And that's in the regular season and the postseason.
Yeah, I like his demeanor. Like, I watched this thing today, and I'm like, he's good. Like, there really isn't much of a change in his tone or voice. He's in year 2, and I think he's very smart, and he's aware of where he is and his choice in words. But, like, he knows you got to be accountable. He knows that fans are disappointed. He knows that they had a 5.5 game lead in first place and that they did have the best record in baseball at one point. And now to be, in the third wild card spot after losing 8 games in a row, like, yeah, they got a lot to look over and assess, but they can't do that yet. They have to focus on winning and not dropping out of this thing and getting a second season in this postseason coming up. So the leader right under him that he chose, and Carlos Mendoza, has been under fire. A lot of fans have called for Carlos Mendoza to be fired. A lot of fans have blamed games on Carlos Mendoza's decisions with the lineup or the pinch hitters or runners or the bullpen. Well, here's what David Stearns had to say about Mendy himself.
I think Mendy's done a very good job, and I think he's been a positive leader, a consistent leader, has done what he can to get our group going, and I think he's going to continue to do that.
He's not throwing Mendy under the bus. Mendy went to Game 6 of the NLCS last year. Mendy was 2 games away from the World Series in his rookie year. Mendy, he feels like, can still right the ship now, get these guys going. And that's the thing. Like, it's just a different script. It's just a different story. It's a different feel this season. Last season, they needed game 161, 162 to get in. Maybe it comes down to the last days of this season as well, but it ain't over until it's over. And, I mean, you can look back in hindsight on the trade deadline, and I know I was someone that was vocal saying they need a starter to get through this. They need to trade for a starter to navigate through this National League. They didn't like any of the guys that they had out there, so they bolstered the pen. They added a bat, and now they're going to figure it out with the young guys they have, piggybacking Clay Holmes with Sean Manaea. David Peterson, they hope, can do what he's got to do, and they'll accept that. Here's what Stearns had to say about the trade deadline, because he was asked about, hey, in hindsight, like, not even just the trade deadline, but even in the winter, would you consider adding more veteran depth now, more, veteran arms to your rotation?
I think it continues to reinforce we have to develop our own pitching, and we have to develop consistently our own pitching with tremendous abundance and that is where our focus is going to be. If I knew exactly how our season was going to play out, absolutely, no question. But we make the decisions we make at the time with the information we had. I'm very comfortable with the process we went through that led us to those decisions. We did not play well during the month of August, and frankly, for this point through September, we've had various segments of our team that haven't performed to the level that we certainly anticipated as we approached the trade deadline. And had I had that knowledge going in, yes, it would have changed what we did.
Yeah, I can't hate on the guy, man. Like I said, his delivery, his use of words, basically he's telling you, hey, if I had all the knowledge, if I could tell the future, if I could predict what was going to happen, sure, I would have done things different. But it is what it is. We're not done yet. It's a baseball season. There are things that happen that you can't predict. No one can predict baseball. What you got to do is just act accordingly and move forward with what you have and what you know now, day by day. So I think they have the right guy at the helm. I know I've been very critical of David Stearns as far as saying what move did he make to put this team over the top. But I don't think he's a over-the-top move maker, I don't think he's the type of guy that's like, I'm going to make a move to, put us over the top. I think he's the type of guy that's building something. And in year 2 on the job, right, like if Juan Soto is the move that puts us over the top, great. But Juan Soto is one player that he's adding as he's going to continue to build. And they're going to continue to develop the pitching. I love how quickly he answered that question about adding veteran depth or, signing players to pitch for the Mets. And he said, no, it just emphasizes even more that we got to develop our own pitching, our own young pitching. This is a guy that's philosophy is I'm not going out there and paying a Corbin Burns or a Max Fried or whomever. Like, we need our young guys to come up in the system as you're seeing right now. These 3 young guys, and the Mets put out a great picture of Jonah Tong, Brandon Sproat, and Nolan McLean walking in today. Like, you're literally looking at your future. Those 3 guys next year could be in the rotation. Or 2 out of 3. And they're going to focus on developing them because they're cost effective. They're going to focus on developing them because they're young. They've got a future ahead of them. And they can spend Steve Cohen's money elsewhere. Maybe they do add a Michael King, like I suggested earlier. Maybe they go after a Kyle Schwarber, a Kyle Tucker, a Cody Bellinger, a Trent Grisham, who knows? But, I think that they have a very even-keeled president of baseball operations that, like, he's not affected by this stuff. And I know as fans, we're so crazy and fanatical. He doesn't seem like a fanatical type of guy. He seems like a guy, it's just business. It's numbers. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. 888-808-1019. As I dip back into the chat is hilarious, and the chat is going to end. But the last I said in the chat, let's see. We got people consistently in here. We got like 139 people in the chat, 129 right now. But it's a lot of the same conversation. Shout out to Danny in the chat that I had a little back and forth with. It's all love. Like, you know what I saw? DeAndre Hopkins had an interview, and I guess, and people got to understand, digital stuff, social media stuff, it is literally all fun and games. People go back and forth with people on the internet all day that they're never going to meet, never going to see, and they would never have a conversation with someone the way that they do on the internet. And so I always tell people that with me, like, it's fake life to me. It's not real. It's not reality. Like, I don't know you. You might think you know me, but you don't know me. You might be familiar with my face or my name or my voice, but you don't know me. And I saw DeAndre Hopkins after the game be asked a question about if social media motivates you, or like trolls and haters on the internet, does that motivate you? And he looked at the guy and looked in the camera and he said, no, my mom being blind motivates me. My dad dying when I was 6 months old motivates me. My family motivates me to go out there and play and have the career I have. He's like, that stuff on the internet is all fun and games, man. He's like, do I like to go back and forth? Yeah, but that's not my motivation. And I think people take the internet so seriously now. They think that like these athletes, like DeAndre Hopkins, when he was at Clemson, he was balling. And there were no social media apps like this. These guys aren't driven by anonymous trolls. But then we act like they can't interact with people online. That gets me too. I had this conversation with my agent recently about like stop replying to people. It's just like it doesn't do you any good. And I'm like, listen, I know, but at the same time, like I came up on the internet and responding to people is how I built my following and my engagement and like broke that wall down between like, yeah, I see you. And so sometimes it's hard not to pew pew, not to shoot back, not to clap back. But now I'm just starting to get too busy where it's like I read stuff and I'm like, it's not even worth it to go back and forth. But yeah, the internet is a fake place. Some people it's real for. They live there all day and, you know, they're anonymously there and, you know, it means a lot to them. But I think any successful people, any people that actually have done stuff in reality in the real world, you can't get too deep in that. I honestly feel for the kids. I think these young kids are the ones that are going to have the harder time deciphering what's real and what's fake. You know, like I just came up, like I had no idea who this Charlie Kirk guy was. Rest in peace to him. And I know you may feel some type of way for or against him stuff. His stuff. I don't feel any type of way, but I understand that like some of the negativity and the hate and the animosity against him, or even some of the strong feelings for him, was because of his content on the internet. And those feelings got taken from the internet and brought into real life where his life was taken from. Like, that's crazy. We're getting to the point where people can't have an opinion. They can't have a stance. They can't build a brand online and go speak their own, like, you know, beliefs into the world. And my wife told me, she's like, his whole thing was about embracing debate. And if you do disagree with someone, talk to them in an open debate format. What we do on the internet is whack. Even this Twitter stuff, Twitter's turned into a cesspool. But anyway, there's my rant on that. Pray for the kids, man. Some of these kids don't get it. You know, I remember hearing about cyberbullying. Now it's way deeper. Like some of these kids are just like, they live in the chat. They live on Twitch. They live on TikTok. And like that is so paramount to them. And like so many of them want to be influencers and want to be content creators and want to be seen and want to have followers. Like I don't want any of that. Like all of that for me is a means to dollars, to money. Like if I could do all of this and not be famous, not be known, whatever, that'd be great. It'd be great. But it's a means to an end. It's like, so be it. If you got to be famous first to be rich, then okay, it is what it is. But what's the point of being famous without the bread? What's the point of having following? There are a lot of people with followers and stuff. They're broke. There are a lot of people with views and whatnot. And like in real life, they're in debt. The line, it's become a thinner line between social media, digital reality, and actual life and reality. Some of these kids don't know how to have a conversation with someone, shake their hand, look at them in the eye, and exist without their phone. I go without my phone. I went on vacation to Mexico. I left my phone in the room. I come back to my phone. Back then, my agent, reporters, someone, well, there's rumors that you're out at WFAN. I'm like, what? What do you mean? There's a rumor circulating that you've been fired at WFAN. I'm like, do you guys not know how the process of that would go? If I was actually let go, I'm like, I'm in Mexico with my wife and my son, and I'm not on the phone because I want to walk on the beach and into the water. I want to be on the pool. I want to eat food and breathe in the air and look at these iguanas and these different kind of birds and not be scrolling Instagram. Anyway, Lewis is in Brooklyn on the Fan. What's up, Lewis?
Keith, there's a rumor you're coming back to be a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, I don't know about those rumors. I'm out. You know how refreshing it was for me to watch that game and not have any type of like I didn't care. I was actually rooting for the Giants to win. And even the opening game of the season, the weather delay and the Cowboys losing that game, I'm so detached from Jerry Jones and the Cowboys. Being an NFL free agent, I wish I did it sooner. It's so freeing to just root for my fantasy teams, my parlays, and points and touchdowns, and not be so locked in on, like, my team has to win.
Your Buffalo Bills
The Bills are good. Hey, so I am in the running. I am potentially a Bills fan, a Bucks fan, a Ravens fan, or a Jaguars fan. Those are my 4 teams in the running right now.
Hey, listen, when the news broke about Micah Parsons, so I had called up, positive Loogie and was it Sean that was on? And they wanted to know about this Buffalo. You made it big. They were asking, is it true?
That if I was going to switch to being a Buffalo Bills fan?
I confirmed the rumor.
I didn't hear that show. I was actually in Ocean City that day. I did a little video reacting to it, but I wasn't listening to the fan. I was on vacation. I take my vacation time with my wife and my young son very seriously because they don't get to see me. They're sleeping right now. I'm about to go home and creep into the house quietly, crash out. They'll wake up in the morning, loudly exit, go do what they got to do, and I'll just be at home doing what I got to do. I won't see them until 6:30, and then my son goes to sleep at 7:30. So when vacation time comes, holiday time comes, I'm very present. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. C-Mac is coming up next. I'm out.
Sports Radio 101.9 FM. WFAN New York.
It's Boomer and Gio. Mornings on the Fan, 101.9 FM.
The Cowboys possess the most dangerous kicking weapon in all of the NFL. That guy could actually attempt a 75-yard field goal if they had to win the game.
Listen to Boomer and Gio on demand on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options